I'm sure that when the new year rolls around, you aren't immune to the whole like new year, new me thing. I know that there's a lot of us who make New Year's resolutions. There's a lot of us equally that don't believe in New Year's resolutions. But I think regardless of like where you stand on the fence there, the when the year changes, it's a really good time to like take stock of what went well last year, what didn't go so well, am I on track to meet the goals that I have for myself, like what kind of things do I want to bring in this year that I wasn't doing so much of last year. I think it's a good time to take stock of all that stuff anyway. If you are somebody who deals with anxiety and panic attacks, even agoraphobia, toilet anxiety, all that kind of stuff, I really want you to be able to spend 2025 doing the things that you want to do and not feeling limited by your panic and anxiety, even if that panic and anxiety still sticks around in the same way that it always has. I want you to be able to do the things that you want to do in 2025, regardless of how long you have spent not doing the things that you want to do. If you are new to my videos, my name's Lauren. I am an author. I'm also somebody who was housebound for a long time with agoraphobia, dealt with panic attacks, deal with toilet anxiety, deal with general anxiety, all that kind of stuff. And I make videos on how to hopefully still live a good life, even if you are somebody who deals with panic and anxiety. And I kind of want to normalize feeling overwhelmed sometimes by bodily sensations and overthinking and over worrying and all that kind of stuff, because a lot of us experience that, and there can be a lot of shame and a lot of like, I shouldn't be feeling this way. Wow, that's a big fly. Sorry, I'm sitting in front of my window and that was a huge fly. I thought it was a big ass spider, but it's not. Really want to normalize feeling anxiety in general, because I think that part of what increases anxiety is us labeling it as something that we shouldn't be feeling. I think a lot of the time that adds more anxiety and more stress and more drama and more tension. Whereas if we can just like soften to the anxiety that we're feeling and just acknowledge that it's there, then it kind of like simmers into the background a little bit and we can actually get around and manage our lives. With all of that being said, in this video, I'm going to talk about how you can make 2025 the year that you really start doing the things that you want to do, if you are somebody who's felt limited by panic and anxiety. Now, the main point of this video, the number one thing that I want you to know going into 2025 is that I don't want you to focus on fixing or curing or overcoming your anxiety or your panic. I don't want you to focus on your anxiety and panic at all, in fact. And this isn't a method of like ignoring what's there or suppressing what's there. The thing is that the more we focus on the things that we don't want in life, the more energy we are ultimately directing towards them. I know that when I was dealing with panic and anxiety to a really severe degree and was housebound, the reason it got so bad was because I was trying so hard to get rid of it. Like, I was focusing every day on like, how can I get rid of my anxiety? Reading all the books, doing all the methods, listening to all the audio hypnosis things, and just like really trying to get better. But all of my focus was on how anxious I felt every day. And so every day I would start the day by unconsciously, I guess, or even consciously, scanning my body for how anxious I felt. And like, do I feel capable today? Do I feel better today? Is this working? Like, am I finally starting to overcome it? And I was creating more anxiety by doing all of those things. So for 2025, I want you to stop focusing on the presence of your anxiety, stop focusing on the presence of your panic attacks. That doesn't mean that they're gonna go away, but I want you to stop focusing on trying to solve the problem of them. Instead, what I want you to do is figure out the kind of person that you want to be in 2025. And by that, I mean, what do you want to spend your time doing? The actions that we do every day, the behaviors that we do every day, ultimately make up like how we perceive ourselves and the type of person that we feel we are, our self-identity. So I want you to figure out what are the kind of behaviors that you want to be doing every day. To give you an example of this, when I started doing all of this stuff, I started a practice of daily workouts. I was doing this body challenge thing, this bikini body challenge. It was like an 8-week home workout challenge, which was great because I couldn't go to the gym anyway. But so I was doing these daily workouts at home. They were pretty intense. It was something I hadn't really done before. So that was one of my focuses, like being somebody that works out every day and someone who, eats well and like all of those kind of things. And I also started a practice of yoga and developed a real love for yoga. So I became somebody who did home yoga videos every day. I used Yoga with Adriene on YouTube. She's amazing. But so that was what I was focusing on. I was like, I want to focus on doing yoga and I want to focus on, doing this challenge and getting this bikini body. Spoiler alert, had one the whole time. Who knew? So I want you to figure out what are the behaviors that you want to do? What's the person you want to be? Maybe you want to start doing pottery. Maybe you want to start designing your own clothes. Maybe you want to start doing a daily practice of like interpretive dance. I don't know. Who is the kind of person that you want to be, and what are the behaviors that you want to start doing to support that? And that is going to be your focus for the year. And what you'll find happens is that your anxiety totally like gets stirred up the first time you start doing all of these new behaviors, because that's the role of anxiety. When we do something new, when we introduce change, the body's like, wait a minute, you are not doing what you're usually supposed to be doing, and we're a creature of habit, and that's weird. Like, we need to keep doing what we always do, right? So when you do something that deviates from that, your body throws out all these physical alarm symptoms and these mental alarm symptoms, and it feels weird. It feels like we shouldn't be doing what we're doing. But I want you to keep at it, because I want you to remember that these are the behaviors that you want to introduce into your life. Regardless of whether panic and anxiety is there, these are the behaviors that you also want to have in your life. Even though you're somebody who's anxious, even though you're somebody who panics, you also want to be somebody who does yoga or does pottery or does dance or whatever it may be. The more that you do these behaviors that support the identity of the person you want to be, you'll notice that your anxiety kind of doesn't disappear, but it sort of like takes a back seat to these other things that you're doing. And you'll start to find that you come up with more creative ways to do the things that you want to do. An example of this is after I finished the home workout challenge, after I finished the 8 weeks, I had become so used to doing these workouts every day, and it had become like such a thing within me that I was like, I work out every day. I actually started taking myself to the gym, and the gym's only like a couple of minutes drive away from my house, but it was somewhere that I hadn't been in a long time, being somebody who was a housebound agoraphobic. So it felt fucking weird driving to the gym. It was scary, it was anxiety provoking, but because I had these behaviors that I was so used to doing, once I got there and I like calmed down a little bit and I did a workout, it felt normal and I felt okay. And it was really hard to go to the gym, for the next couple of weeks. Like, it was hard. But I kept doing it because it was kind of the ball that had started rolling, And so then, because I got used to driving to the gym every day, which granted it was only a couple of minutes, but I kind of felt like maybe I'm more capable of like driving to the shops that's, just down the road from the gym. And that was how my agoraphobia recovery snowballed. Like, I started doing little things. A lot of you will know I went for little walks as well, but started doing these new behaviors that supported the life that I wanted to have. And I just let my anxiety and my panic come along. Like, I wasn't trying to fix my anxiety and panic. I wasn't trying to get rid of it. I was just trying to do the other things that I wanted to do and let the anxiety and panic come along for the ride. And eventually I found that I was able to have both things. I was able to be this person that I wanted to be. I was able to go out and go to yoga and go to the gym and go out and meet friends and do all these other things. that I had so badly wanted to do for years. Even though I was still anxious and panicking sometimes, I was also living the life that I wanted to live at the same time. And that was mind blowing to me. It was like I didn't actually realize I could have both. I didn't know that I would want to have both. But it turned out that I was like, okay, I can handle the anxiety, I can handle the panic if I'm still doing the things that I actually want to be doing. So that's what you are going to do. You are going to figure out the behaviors that you want to be doing every day, the behaviors that support the identity that you want to have, not focusing on your anxiety and panic, and you are going to start doing those things every day. And maybe you might like to add some things to the list. Maybe you have a whole host of people that you want to be, experiences that you want to have. Keep building up towards those things. Don't focus on how to get rid of your anxiety, how to get rid of your panic attacks. Don't worry about that. It will sort itself out the more you chase the life that you want to have. I know that this all sounds very simple, and it is really simple, and I also know that it sounds really easy to do, to talk about it, but it's actually a whole other thing to put into practice. It can actually be really hard, especially if you are somebody who has been housebound for years, if you have felt limited by anxiety and panic for years. I have been there and I understand how hard it is. And I think that one of the funny things is occasionally I'll get comments on my videos saying like, but how were you able to do that if you were housebound? Like, that's ridiculous. And I'm like, well, with me talking about it, you can't actually, you weren't there for the weeks and months and like heartache that it took me to build up towards that. Like, you didn't see all of that, and I didn't talk about all of that because it's the same thing. Like, it's the same shit. It's the same anxiety, it's the same panic. It took me a long time to be able to go to the gym. But what it took ultimately was me starting to do something different, which was doing those workouts, rather than spending all my time thinking, I wish that I was somebody who went to the gym. I wish that I was, this person that did workouts and didn't have anxiety. And so how can I fix my anxiety so that I can be somebody who goes to the gym? It didn't work that way. It actually worked the other way. I had to do the things that I wanted to do first with the things that I didn't want at the same time, and watch how it all kind of amalgamated together to create this life where I was happy to exist in. I hope this video has been helpful. I know it was a bit rambly, but yeah, I really want you to have a good year in 2025, and I want you to be able to do the things that you want to do. I'm going to keep building on this video as well. I'm going to keep adding new videos on this topic, so keep checking back is just kind of like the start of it, but this is the crux of it as well. I hope you're all doing well. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.